I saw this video and I decided, let's react to it because I'm weird.
Ah, children. Such delightful additions to our everyday lives. They're cute and sweet and learning everything for the first time.
Yep.
And then your kid goes and says something like, "Goodbye, Dad," said my 2-year-old son.
What?
No, we say good night. I know, but this time it's goodbye.
Huh?
Daddy, can you cut off someone's tongue without killing them? A mother asked her daughter what she was thinking about, and she replied, "I'm imagining the waves of blood rushing over me." I caught my daughter saying, "Die, die, die, die." So I ask, "What's that you're saying?" And she turns to face me and just whispers, "Die." So I shouldn't throw him in the fire, said my 3-year-old daughter while holding her baby brother for the first time. Daddy, remember that time we died? I wait to find my 3-year-old standing by my bed, staring at me with a huge grin on his face. "What are you doing?" I finally say. "Nothing," he says, still grinning. At this point I realise he's got his hands behind his back. "Are you holding something?" "No." I look anyway. He's hiding the largest carving knife behind his back. We got my little sister a puppy for Christmas. When she woke up and saw the dog, she said, "My baby, it's not time for you yet," and tried to pick up the dog and shove it in her mouth.
What?
We had just moved into a new house and 2 kids showed up at the door. When I asked if I could help them, one of them said, "Our mum wants us to tell you the old people who used to live here are buried at the end of the road." They ran off and I've never seen those kids again to this day. As I was driving down the road, my kid was about to nod off. Right before the lights changed, he said, "Last time I died in a fire." "Mum, I promise I won't ever chew on your bones. I promise." My 4-year-old son asked my pregnant sister if there was a baby in her belly. She said yes. With a completely straight face, he slid from his chair and headed for the kitchen, saying, "We need to get it out. I'll go get the knife." My daughter saw me getting dry skin off my shoulder after bad sunburn and asked if she could keep my skin flakes and put them in a jar so when I die she can make a mummy mask to remember me always. My 3-year-old daughter stood next to her new baby brother and looked at him for a while, then turned to me and said, "Daddy, it's a monster. We should bury it." At my great-uncle's funeral, my daughter asked when he was going to turn into a zombie. I was sound asleep and around 6 a.m. I was awoken by my 4-year-old daughter's face inches from mine. She looked right into my eyes and whispered, "I want to peel all your skin off." My little cousin drew a picture of a black monster, looked up at me and said, "He told me to draw this. He's coming for you. You better hide." My 6-year-old son asked my mother to lay down on her stomach, then he sat on her butt and started bouncing up and down and proclaimed, "Thanks, Discover Channel." I said, "Go back to sleep, there isn't anything under your bed." To which my son replied, "You're right, he's behind you now." "Daddy, I love you so much that I want to cut off your head and carry it around so I can see your face whenever I want." Did these bizarre quotes creep you out?
Yes.
Comment below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Real vodka and real juice.
Someone
New Neutral Juiced.
Get the deals you want during the Wowza Savings Event. Food basics, always more for less.
Kids say the darndest things, especially when you're least expecting it, so here we've gathered some more of the creepiest things ever. Brilliant news! When my son was 3, he started singing a Polish nursery rhyme that my husband's grandmother used to sing all the babies in the family. She passed away before my son was born, and we don't speak or sing Polish. My daughter, from a severe brain injury when she was 11 weeks old, was in a coma for 3 days. For years afterwards, when it rained, she would comment, "Smells like God." So if you ever wondered what God smells like, you're welcome. My daughter was about 5 when she says, "You're the best mummy I've ever had." I said, "I'm the only mummy you've ever had." She looks at me and says, "No, you're the third one, but I like you the best." I was hiking alone in the woods with my son who was 7. It was eerie quiet. Out of nowhere he says, "The woods demand a sacrifice. We're all going to die." I know, sweetie, that's just part of "you're going to die tomorrow."
What?
When my niece was 7, she asked why we were keeping all the dead grandmas in the attic. Then she laughed. Putting my half-brother down for a nap, he goes, "I can't sleep with that mean little boy staring at me," points to dark closet. We decided to go to the beach instead. "Can I marry you?" "No, sorry, sweetie, I have a boyfriend." The 5-year-old thinks for a second. What if he died? At the store, he suddenly grabs my hand, squeezes real hard and says, "Mama, when you die, I'm gonna make a little you so I can keep you always. Like with your skin and eyes, but probably not your insides." Woke up in the dead of night in total darkness. Thought someone had called for me, but all was quiet. Didn't notice that my 3-year-old had crept in and was standing beside my bed until he whispered into my ear, "I used to have a train set when I was a grandpa." "Mama, what happens to us when we die?" Oh, never mind, I remember. We become new again." She smiles and walks away. I woke up to 3-year-old kid number 4 petting my head. I asked what she needed, and she said, "I wish I had a piece of you that I could carry with me all the time, like your finger." I haven't slept soundly since. My son at 5 years old, "Daddy, I'm going to eat you up." "Aww, yeah, I'm gonna cut you into little pieces." "Oh my god." When I was about 16, I was in a grocery store with my mum, and a tiny child I had never seen before suddenly latched himself around my leg. He wouldn't let go, kept insisting I was his first mummy. He sobbed when pried off by his actual mother. Bizarre. When my twins were born, one of them took longer to talk. When she did start, it was in fluent Spanish, which we don't speak at home, nor does anyone who would come into contact with her. Did these bizarre quotes creep you out? Comment
Yes.
below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Tu sais ce que tu veux, quand tu le veux. Ton choix t'appartient. Demande à ton médecin si Nexplanon pourrait te convenir. Visite le nexplanon.ca/FR pour en savoir plus.
I don't know why I'm still watching
Our
this.
children. Such delightful additions to our everyday lives. They're cute and sweet and learning everything for the first time. And then your kid goes and says something like, "Brilliant news! I'll remember you after we put you in your grave," said my goddaughter after covering me with a blanket. I decided to have a sleepover in my sister's room, to which my younger sister looked me dead in the eyes and replied, "And while you're sleeping, I'm gonna chop you up and eat you," before running off to play. When I was 3, my grandma took me for a walk down a road we hadn't been before in her heavily wooded area, when suddenly I froze and whispered, "Why are they looking at us?" Grandma looked back. No one was around. The terror slowly slipped from my face as I said, "It's okay, they're smiling now," and I continued to walk on. My 4-year-old on the car ride home from school said, "Mummy, Rudolph only eats blood. He doesn't eat reindeer food, only blood to make his nose red." My wife and I had parked behind an old abandoned hospital as the beach was only a quarter mile away. As we were getting our stuff out, our son Kratos started laughing and pointing to the empty seat beside him. "The funny old man is making faces at me," he says, pointing to the empty seat beside him. My wife looked at me, I looked back, threw all the shit I'd just taken out back into my truck and peeled out of there. I have 2 daughters. My 2-year-old has 2 toes that are fused up to the first knuckle. A couple days ago, my 5-year-old came to me and said, Mummy, my sister has toes that are stuck together. I replied, yes, she does. If I pulled them apart, would she bleed? Yes, she would bleed. Would she go to the hospital? She probably would have to go to the hospital. Would she die? I quickly changed topic. Kratos is about 5 now and keeps having recurring nightmares of being held down in his sleep, saying that he went with some people when he was sleeping. This went on for months. Then out of the blue one day he says, Dad, I'm not scared of the sleep people anymore. They said they are done now and I never need go with them again. And the nightmares completely stopped. Did these bizarre quotes creep you out? Comment
Again,
below and
yes.
don't forget to hit that like button.
I don't know why I continue to watch this, but I do. Bye.